Kenyatta in Redlands, California. Hey, Kenyatta, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey,
Mr.
you're on the air.
How are you today?
I am well. How are you?
I'm doing good, I guess. Well, Tom, I'm gonna, I keep it brief and I try not to filibuster, but I'm gonna ask you to give me a minute here because I'm gonna say what I have to say, and I hope that it will elicit some response not only from you but from your audience. And
Go for it.
This.
Go for it. You've called in enough. I trust you. I go for it.
Okay, listen. There is something happening in this country with black people. And we have, over the weekend, I wrote a piece for the forum called Melanic Nation, Blackism, and By Any Means Necessary. And given who you are, your stature, and your positions, and your forum, the amount of vitriolic racism that has come as a result of that piece is incredible. And I wrote it for that reason, because if that type of vitriolic, vehement racism exists on a Thom Hartmann site, we can only imagine what happens on the
So you posted an op-ed on our site where any of our listeners can do so, and you've been attacked in a way that you think is I haven't read it. I apologize, Kenyatta, so I'm not familiar with exactly what you're talking about.
That's okay, Tom. I talked with Danielle about it. I know you're busy. You've got a bunch of stuff to do, and I know that you don't have time to do these things, but she has the site, or not the site, but she has the piece, and if you get the chance, take a look at it, and more importantly, the comments. I'm not so much interested in you reading what I wrote, but the comments.
I'll check them both out when we get off the air. Basically,
the piece is about the fact that black people in this country are set up is probably to a minimalization of what they're feeling.
Yeah.
You see, we have in this country, we have a history. We have a 400-year history. Tom, there was something called niggerhead stove polish. And there were a bunch of products in the 1800s and early 1900s that had the word nigger in them, from shoe polish to stove polish. And they had these caricatures of black people looking like monkeys with enormous ears and big lips. There has been nothing of the sort in this country with any other ethnic or racial group. And when I hear, with all due respect, your callers, and sometimes you, say things like, refer to this as racism. Racism is racism if you're Mexican, if you're Japanese, if you're Asian, if you're Native American. But black people in this country, because of how we got here, you understand, when you go to the Statue of Liberty, we are called non-voluntary immigrants. When Barack Obama says that this is a country of immigrants, you see, he, believe it or not, doesn't know it, but he's excluding me. We did not immigrate here. We are called officially non-voluntary immigrants.
Right.
White man speak for slavery. Okay?
Yeah.
And that has had a long-term, centuries-long impact on who we are, and not only who we are, who white people are. Now, let me just say this to you. If you look at any metric relevant to upward stratification in this country, you name it, life expectancy, family net worth, you look at it, black people consistently rank at the bottom of every one of them. Yep. Every one of them. Think about Hurricane Katrina. Do you honestly believe, Tom, that could have been thousands of white people living in those conditions for that many days in the U.S.
No, if that had been Tampa, Florida, or something like that, affluent white community that's on the water, no, it would not have gone down the way it went down. And to this day, I mean, New Orleans is still. But back to you, Kenyatta. This is your rant.
No, that's okay. But then not only after these people were victimized by Mother Nature, what did the U.S. government do? Came and pointed M16s at them.
Yeah, they hired Blackwater.
That's what happened. I mean, don't shoot the messenger here. Cliven Bundy pointed guns, and then we had over the weekend, ironically, the situation in Ferguson. Cliven Bundy had armed people with him, pointed guns at federal agents. Cliven Bundy not only lived to tell the tale, wasn't even arrested. John Hinckley Jr. attempted to murder a sitting president, and gets weekly furloughs. He gets to go home unsupervised. Listen, Tom, you know something? My problem here with white America, or a large portion of it, and I'm certainly not including you and a lot of the wonderful people that have supported my efforts. And I want to tell you something, Tom, because of your show and because of the platform that you've given me, I've had all kinds of opportunities presented to me, and I will be forever in your debt. But let me tell you something. There's a problem with honesty in this country. And this isn't about racism. This is about Blackism. And until we call it what it is, then we're not going to deal with it. If you've got snot running out of your nose and you've got a hacking cough and you've got sweat pouring all over you and people are telling you you've got a cold, you need to go get some Robitussin, you're not going to go get it until you realize you have a cold. This country is sick.
Are you suggesting, Kenyatta, pardon my interrupting you, but we have less than a minute before the music is going to hit us. Are you suggesting that the word racism is too weak to describe the horrors, the genocidal horrors that black people have experienced in this country?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, and I would say the same is true for Native Americans in this country as well. And we can't forget, our Native American brothers and sisters as well. But I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you.
Well, there's no doubt in terms of Native Americans, I have some of that blood coursing through my veins as well. But what I'm saying is that when it was a different kind of thing, but equally horrible.
Yeah.
Equally horrible.
Well, I mean, Native Americans were also subject to these horrible stereotypes, right? Right up to the Lone Ranger. I mean, it's in Tonto.
Oh yeah, Tonto.
But yeah, I get what you're saying, Kenyatta, and I think it's an important point to make, and you did it very well. Thank you for the call. And yeah, I'll check out your post in about a half hour when I get off the air. Thanks a lot, Kenyatta.